drive-through stops. Cross Creek Erectors, Gianfrancesco Lawn Care, Star Lake Ford, that's where this pretty ass big Ford over here, pardon my language, where this big truck came from. Brownlee Lumber and Supply, Station Grill, All Pro Dumpsters. They're helping us find sources to reutilize on the course. I know a lot of people would be like, what is a dumpster company doing for a disc golf course? They help get materials here and also source materials from demo places that we can reutilize to continue beautifying the course. Walmart in Weirton, Farmin' Carmen's Farm, Drovers. A couple of people here have eaten there. They're right down the road. To the left out of the park. You like wings, you like unique, cool dive places, go there. Our playing hole sponsors, we got Josh Smith, the WBDGA president. Check out the flyer on one for Mellow Day in May. Mark Cherry. There, oh, come on, stand up. This is our assistant link coordinator. This sponsor hole 18. And now a brief moment of silence for all those we've loved and lost. For Shay Fannis Jr., Clarence and Mildred Cicchini, John Wales, Frank Brownlee. May you rest in peace and be with us in spirit on the course today. All right, now to the nitty gritty. If you haven't got in the A spot, it's $2. We will throw for it. If nobody hits it, it ain't going to be easy. I made it easy in the option. It won't be today. Got a free CTP for everybody. That's hole 1 and 10. There's one for each of them. The flags are on those. That only applies to the first round, as does the $5 CTP. That's for hole 8 and 17. Those are a value of $45 roughly. That's a pretty good deal. $5. You get almost $50 worth of merch. All right. This is a PDGA B tier, 2-round, 36 holes. All right. Everybody get a player program. Glance over the course notes. On hole 2, it's not in the course notes, but I left the stuff out that you don't need to be concerned with, but I will mention it. There's a small creek that runs behind the basket on hole 2. It is not out of bounds. Hole 4, only the basketball court is out of bounds. There's a green, what do you call it, Mark? Felt sock. Don't pay attention to it. The same on hole 6. That is not out of bounds. There's not, just play past it like it's not there. The only place on hole 6, if you happen, or I'm sorry, not hole 6, hole 5. If you happen to throw way right into the baseball field, that's out of bounds. Play from where you were last in bounds. On hole 6, as you go down into the valley, there is a small creek that plays as a hazard. Everybody understand the difference between hazard and out of bounds? Out of bounds, you would have to relocate your disc. Hazard, you play behind your lie with a 1-stroke penalty. It's like on the pro courses when you see them throw into a sand trap. They play from it, 1-stroke penalty. Hole 7, only from the tee. If you land in the water, you go to the drop zone. Any throw after that goes into the water, you play from your previous lie or your previous place of being in bounds. Out of bounds is designated by being completely surrounded. That applies to the hazard on 6 as well. If there's like one string of grass and there's water or concrete around it, it's got not be overly nitpicky about, well, there was grass under it. Well, it was totally on the concrete. It's out. Hole 8, there's an area roped off in the middle because it gets real squishy. It's got a lot of water in that area. That is out of bounds. The gravel road just in between the long and the short tee is not. Just beyond the basket, literally like 6 feet. There's a white line painted on that gravel road. If you go beyond that, you are out of bounds.
Hey Josh.
Yes, sir.
On 7, I read something, there's a sign there.
Disregard that sign.
Okay,
that is
I just
the
want to
green
make sure
sign.
that that's
Thank you for
not
mentioning
in
it.
play. Because people are going to read that and get confused. I can take 3 strokes and just drop it over there. You can't do that in a tournament.
No, that was
Right.
more for casual play, not
Yeah.
for a PDGA sanctioned
Right.
tournament. Where we at? Just did hole 9 or hole 8. Hole 9. There's a white line painted the whole way up the left side of the gravel road, to the right of that line is all out of bounds. The only inbounds fairway is directly in front of you to the left of that line. Hole 10, the road to the left, if you're on or over, you're out. Hole 11, if you have to go real far, happen to go real far left, there's a path that leads down to the boat dock. On or to the left of that is out of bounds. The cement surrounding the boathouse is also out of bounds. Hole 12, there's a tree with a yellow ring of tape. You must play to the left of that. If you happen to go to the right of it, you play back around. You do not re-tee. If you are inside the fence that marks the playground, that is out of bounds. Hole 14, again, shooting down hill towards the boathouse. If you happen to land on the cement or in the water, you are out of bounds. There's not a drop zone if you happen to go in that water. Play from where you were most previously in bounds. Aside from that, hole 16, literally underneath of the basket, we found an anthill. I don't know how much it's there today. We moved it around and tried to stamp it in. Maybe they'll be vacating. They're just black ants, but just so everybody's aware. I mean, it was like this big around. Hole 18, the whole way along this power line, there's a white line painted. If you're to the left of that, you are out of bounds. Does anybody have any questions? Cool. So you are aware on these scorecards, on hole 12, pay attention to the signs. The measures on hole 12 are 100 feet long, on long and short. Also on hole 18, from the longs, it is a par 3. So longs, your par is 58, shorts, your par is 57. In terms of filling out the cards, please write neatly. Give me your total amount of strokes. I don't want over, under. That makes us have to backtrack and look at numbers a little bit. As I said, please write neat. A little bit about the park. The park is self-sustained. It is not government funded. They do a number of different functions and things to acquire money for the park, and that would lead into the military that's working here. There was some down there by the bathroom, and on hole 4 you'll notice all the fresh dirt over there. That's the Army Corps of Engineers. Keep hitting the wrong button. But after the steel industry fell, you know, a lot of the areas did. This park did too for years. And because of one man in particular, he came in and, you know, motivated man, done a number of things for the community, and a number of communities. Took out the local high school to a couple of state championships. And all the work and all the progress and things that you see going on around the park are him moving the ball forward when the park had previously kind of plateaued and everybody got a little bit relaxed. Those things that are going on that we see that have a slight effect on the course, those are things to be appreciated because it's just moving forward and making this park better and giving more back to the community. And at the end of the day, it's a really phenomenal thing when they're here. That's training military guys for civilian work after they're released from the military, so they can jump right into jobs. That being said, I want to give a warm welcome to that man. He's put in loads of work. Without him, I wouldn't be here. This course wouldn't look like it does. Bud Billiard. Yeah.
I've kind of been living for this day. To actually see it happen. This is great. My wife couldn't be here. She's doing well. She's been battling cancer, and she's making a great recovery, as I will right now. Thank you for coming here. Enjoy the course. Josh gave you a real good story about what's going on. Those Army people have been here since 2016. We needed things done. We had an old pool house, needed to be removed. We needed the pool moved, they moved it. We needed old batting cages moved, they moved it. Then we found out they could do so much more. And right now, as Josh was telling you, if you go over there, you'll see, what hole is that, Josh, by the basketball court?
Hole 4.
Hole 4, okay? Now, you'll see that ground has just been disturbed, and we're getting it ready to green it again, okay? And then eventually what's going to happen, those holes, after hole 4 and along that area, we're going to remove those. We're going to replace them because that whole area is going to be leveled and it's going to be a multi-purpose field. It's going to go all the way to the baseball field at that level. It's really going to be a sight. And I just talked with Josh the other day. We have an engineer and an architect or a surveyor that's going to provide us with a master overlay of all the contours. Then he'll come in, as he has done, and I have to thank him and Paul and Johnny for coming in here and doing what they did, what they've done. And then we will have that whole configuration, and he'll plot those holes in. Again, now we may have a little bit of a shoot on a hill or shoot off a hill, but I found out about you guys. It really don't mean a damn. Paul Ashmore told me, when I found out about this, and I got on the board, I wanted to bring things to our community that we don't have. And we have foot golf now, regular golf. We have a driving range. We have mini golf. We have disc golf. By damn it, if you like golf, come here. We got it, you know? So the thing about it, yeah, we're growing. We're doing a lot of things. We got cabins going down over the hill. Maybe one of these days you guys say, hey, I'm going to go out there and book a cabin. And they're nice. They're going to be really nice. We want to get new cart paths for the traditional and foot golf course. We're going to put in a new RV park. This is our present RV park, but behind the baseball field, which is going to be extended to regulation size, so we can bring in big competition and adult softball and things like that. And then we'll also have a plastic fence for young kids to play and be able to hit the ball out of the park, because everybody's got to have a fence to hit the ball out of, you know. But the thing is, when they started talking to me about disc golf, and they told me, he said, I'm going to build you one of the beautiful courses in West Virginia. I had no clue what they wanted to do. And the guy says, you know those guys play in the woods. Then I thought, these people have to be kooky. Playing in the woods, how the heck you want to do that? So the more I was around them, the more Josh come down and would talk me through this and show me that. And the first day I come over, and here's Paul and Johnny and Josh. They're in the woods, and they look like lumberjacks instead of guys getting the golf course ready. They got twigs and all that. And then all of a sudden, if you step back and look, you can see the picture. It was opening up and getting prettier and prettier all the time. Now, about this course, I wanted to get it in. I applied for a grant through another guy, and I waited and waited and waited for the grant. And one day, and I'll not forget it, it was a holiday, and I was getting all pumped up to start my fundraising. Not to boast, but in 10 months I raised over $130,000. Okay? For the park. I also probably got $1/2 to $3/4 million in-kind services done. The Army alone have probably saved us $500,000. Okay? But we found out that they can come in with people that can do jobs. They're the ones that helped Josh put down the tee pads.
21 in one day.
How about
pouring
that?
down rain.
Talking about slinging mud. He had those skid steers running all over the place. My God, they're lucky they didn't collide. They were going all over. They're taking concrete out in the woods and things like that. And then all of a sudden, It just keeps getting better and better and better. And that's what we want to continually do. With the addition of the multi-purpose field and the reconfiguration of a couple holes, you know, it's like those signs you see on the road. Temporary inconvenience for permanent satisfaction. And that's what our goal is. Now, last year I was on a par to get a lot of things done. I set out goals. I'm very goal oriented. I try to achieve things. Last year we had an embezzlement at the park. And we had a friend that took our money. And he hit us hard, really hard. And we took a hit. And, you know, we all had to step back. And then, of course, with my wife becoming ill, it slowed down my fundraising. But I'm back on my feet again, and I'm moving along. And speaking of moving along, I have to leave here today and go to a military service in Wellsburg. That's the idea of my support. Then I have to be back to see that the military is working and making sure they're getting fed. And then I have to go home, change, and then I have to go and be a presenter at our annual Veteran of the Year dinner dance tonight. So this is really a big deal. I didn't sleep last night. I tossed and turned thinking about what I had to do. And I tried to get the media out here today, but as I was telling this young lady over here, where'd you go, baby doll? She was one of my students at school, or went to school at Brook. I think you remember me, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, I hope that's good. Anyway, I have connections with TV, radio, and newspaper. And Josh has been talking to them as we go along. I've asked her to get information together and work with Josh, his mom, and any of you that can contribute about today's event. I told them I need a roster of everybody that came. I want it out, and it will be published. I'll get my friends on the radio to broadcast it. It'll be in TV. It'll be in the newspapers because they have to know about this. And if it wasn't for so many other things in the county today, I'm sure they would be here. But with that said, one last thing that I was telling you about getting a grant to put this thing in, and I hope this guy's not getting bored and putting his head down. That's the way they used to get in class when I was talking, you know. And what I would do, I'd go over to them and I'd say, did I have you in class? Oh my God, he's heard me. I'd go over and say, hey, come on now, I'm not that bad, am I? Especially if I had to talk at 7:52 in the morning, okay? Now, I wanted to get this grant to start me. It fell through. It was a deep day, a deep and dark day for me. I called my former student athlete out in Austin, Texas, who's done very well in life. And he was going to help me support it. And I said to him, I said, Billy, I got some bad news. And he said, what's up, Coach? I says, the grant that I was going to get, it fell through. He said, it's too bad. And I says, yeah. He says, well, you need the full $25,000? I go, yeah. He says, you got it. How about that?
Yeah, that's why we're here today.
Yeah, that's why we're
that
here.
man's generosity.
And I wanted to name it after his family and him. They says, no, it's going to be named after you and Carol. I said, no, I can't do it. He says, you want the course? I said, yeah. He says, it's you and Carol or there's no course. Well, being the businessman that I am, okay, I says, hey, call it anything you want. So it's the Bud Billiard disc golf course sponsored by Bill and Jamie Bayless. And if you go down to our beautiful memorial, and by the way, a friend of mine and myself raised $300,000 in about 10 months to build that thing. And it's gorgeous, and that's part of what I'm involved in today. There are roads down there. And if you'll see the walkway in the road, it'll say the William Buck and Lucille Bayless walkways, $22,000 he gave us for that. He gave us $47,000 in 2 checks. And then I asked him about, can you help the Playhouse? Now, can you imagine this? This guy saying, what the hell else do you want? He gave us $10,000 to help the Playhouse. So that's why we're here. I mean, that's why this all happened. And I can't thank Josh, I can't thank Paul or Johnny enough for coming up here. And I didn't know what the heck I was going to say when I stood up here today, except thank you. Enjoy the course. Have you played it before, anybody?
Yeah.
Thank you, Bud.
How do you like it?
Real quick, before Bud can get out of here, he's got gonna throw off the first shot of the tour.
Let's get everybody around the sponsor signs, please.
I have been watching you guys, okay? And I'll tell you what I've been doing. I've watched the poses of all of you, even the girls. And I thought, maybe it's in the pose, okay? So I've been doing this, and I've been doing this, and it doesn't work. It's in the person. That's where it's at. I'll try this, and we'll just, it's a one shot only.
One shot.
Okay, for God's sake. All right. I'm going to do the best I can. Go that way. Oh! That's right.
All right, man. Thank you very much, guys.
And
All right.
I want you to get, Josh, I need you to get some pictures today.
Oh, you know.
All right, and you got my number. You can text them to me, and then I can get them to warn them. Hey, you guys have a great day.
You too.
Kick ass, all right? I have to go.
You're up 10 minutes to get to your team.
Well, you got me on a solo.